Chapter 1. Death and Life. Life and death. Always juxtaposed, never one without the other. Creation and destruction. From destruction arises creation. "Come over," he said, beckoning. The voice was soft but distinctly male. "It is so much better here. The grass is fabulously green. The air is brilliantly clean. Everything is just so much clearer here than down there." The words sounded somewhat poetic. Where the voice was coming from or what it meant was a mystery. It was a soft, floating reverberation sifting through my mind. All was dark. Was it just my imagination? I had no sensation in any part of my body. I had no idea if my eyes were open or not. The blackness enveloped me completely, plunging me into a deep abyss of nothingness, as if I'd slipped through the road and was swallowed up by the tar. All I could do was be still in case I stirred up danger. Ahead something glimmered vaguely, a shadow moving smoothly and gracefully up and down, stirring up a memory of sitting on a beach in Hawaii watching surfers doing impossible things in impossibly gigantic waves. Zoned in, transfixed, the memory was vivid. Of feet seemingly glued to boards. Bodies swiftly riding blue water, fixated on staying up, then suddenly tumbling beneath the waves. Resurfacing, they'd try again, each time riding out, to catch the next wave only to stay up momentarily before rolling into barrel of water, disappearing and reappearing each time, wet with wonder and fascination. Close by, in the dark it appeared as if someone was surfing. Just one person. It was night, I reminded myself, but a moment ago, the sun was shining. It had somehow transitioned from day to night in a split second. Who surfs at night? I was not in Hawaii at night, so where was I? There were no waves, no sound of the ocean, nor salty spray or smell as I expected. My earliest memories of the ocean came back to me. New Year's Day picnic on the beach with family, eating thick slices of ham, potato salad, and fresh greens. Usually, we weren't allowed to swim after we'd eaten, having to wait an hour for our food to be digested or we'd drown. That was the old people's belief. Always the defiant one, I had to swim first then eat. I loved the ocean too much. I'd return after everyone else had forgotten about their discarded leftovers. Walking along the beach, I'd let the wind whip my hair into my eyes and blow the little bathing costume skirt against my thighs where it remained stuck until it dried. Rejuvenated, I'd dry myself with the largest beach towel, ensuring that I was no longer dripping when I sat down to eat. My parents would glower and shake their heads. I'd snigger and continue to eat my food, ignoring their remonstrations of eating first then swimming, which of course made no sense at all if we weren't allowed to swim immediately after eating or before, for that matter. Seagulls would swoop down to try and catch a morsel only to be shooed away. On this occasion, seagulls were distinctly absent, so what was this? Why could I not feel my body? I strained my imagination for any signs of the sea, but there were none. Peering into the darkness, a glimmering shape glided nearby. My mind struggled to comprehend the surreal scene before me. It's a mere illusion, I kept reminding myself. I would soon hear the alarm clock and wake up. I would feed the dog and cat, make breakfast of bacon and eggs on toast for the kids, then get them ready for school. In the silence I waited, but there was no alarm clock. No meowing or yapping from the animals. The vision became clearer. Someone was surfing on a sea of light. A silent sea of light. Clearly, I was dreaming. How can anyone surf on a sea of light? Swirling waves tumbled, scintillating, in white and blue, mesmerizing, capturing my mind as the surfer maneuvered the board, his strong, lithe body directing his movements. It was a male figure of slight build, boldly riding the wave as if steering his body like a vehicle. His Peter Pan-like figure was covered in a one-piece navy blue surf suit, fitting snugly to his youthful physique. In the dark he didn't seem wet. His hair was in place and his surfboard too, was completely dry. Yet, he kept skimming the waves, up and down, rolling and tumbling as if he would never fall off. The vision was so surreal. I was there but my body was elsewhere. It was dark, yet, I could see clearly. The duality kept me intrigued. Floating in an upright position, arms out on either side. I was surprised to see below in the distance, my body. My body. It looked like me but it couldn't be. I was here, but I was also lying way below, face up. A small crowd had formed, curiously staring at my body, whispering anxiously about whether I was dead or alive. Dead or alive? I didn't know myself if I was dead or alive. Being in two places at once was most perplexing. Cars were backed up, moving at snail's pace. On the pavement, people were milling about restlessly, anxiously enjoying the drama of the morning. Pedestrians passing by stopped to stare and gasp in shock. People who fear death usually react in this way. I suppose I was not any different once. Instantly, I was back, gasping for air, flailing, looking for something solid to touch. I was struggling to breathe. Afraid I might slip away, I tried to call out, but I had no voice. My body grew cold as the energy slowly dissipated, creeping down my arms, to my torso, then to my legs, until finally it reached my feet and exited through my toes. It was a really lousy feeling to die, but once away from the physical body that was once me, I felt lighter, yet unafraid. I wasn't ready to leave yet and held on as best I could, in case I might never return to my children who were too young to be orphans. As if there was an ideal age to be orphaned. I laughed mentally. I was being restrained by my mind, unable to make sense of what was happening. One moment I was in my body, the next I was just a lost, disembodied mind floating in empty space, looking down at the scene below. It was no time to abandon my kids. I desperately needed to stay, if only for their sake. It doesn't matter, you know. Whether you are here or there doesn't matter, but I can assure you that being here has so many more benefits than being down there. The voice, though benign, was clearly audible. Like what? I wanted to know. Well, for one, you can surf the light. What does that mean? Just what I said. You can surf the light, he repeated for emphasis.